Well, we are here at the Goodwill today. This Goodwill is hit or miss, but mostly hit. So hopefully we have some good luck here today, but we are going to head in and see what we can find that we can flip for a profit. Here we go. So this is one of the first shelving units here at the Goodwill, and you can see there are a lot of figurines here, but the first thing that caught my eye was this bookend, and it's got kind of a Trojan horse look to it, but of course, this was a lot more interesting, and this is a piece of Wedgwood, and it is pink. And so I did decide to grab this for $2.50 and hope that somewhere in this Goodwill there was a cup to go with the saucer. But I did return to the bookend and it was $3.50. I do sell a lot of single bookends because there are people looking to prop up the end of a row of books on a shelf. And so I did grab the single bookend. I prefer pairs, but I will buy singles. And here we go again. There is another horse bookend here. This one's a little bit more realistic. It's not that stylistic Trojan look, but this one is made by Lefton, and so I did grab this bookend as well. This dish was falconware, and I've never actually heard of falconware before, but I liked the contrast of the cream color with the blue. And so for $3.50, I decided to take a chance on this and do a little research after the fact to decide if I was paying to learn or not. We've got some clear glass here. You can see there's lots of it. But up here, we've got some colored glass. This was actually melamine, which is kind of a plastic material. So I was surprised to find that on the shelf. But we have a lot of depression glass at the moment, and so it's not something I'm really looking for. It's not something I really look for anyway, as far as depression glass. These were interesting. They had an applied little color to them, but I didn't see a whole lot of resale value there. We've got the metals here. The last time I was at this Goodwill, I did find some silver candlesticks. So I did breeze through the metals here, but I did take a look. This was hand forged, and I looked at the bottom of this to see if it was Wendell August Forge. This was a nice vintage plate, but the fact that the label was over the painting made me a little nervous. We've got a made in China apple there. Not seeing any silver. Now this was either a bud vase or a cute little toothpick holder, but it had deer on it, and I suspect it was German. So I did grab this for 99 cents, even with that little chip on the edge. This is McCoy. It's a McCoy planter, and it was $3.50. This was an antique vase. I believe this is the clam broth color, and I suspect this is Bristol. Bristol is just a region in England where they're known to have made these Victorian vases, kind of like Murano glass. It's Bristol glass. And they are specifically known for their blue vases. Obviously, that's not blue. This appears to be a Pier 1 piece. Not something I really wanted to mess with today. These I suspected at the time were Williamsburg reproduction, but looking back on it, they could have been German. But what I was really attracted to were these. These were really nice. These are also Victorian vases, and there are actually two of them. So it's really exciting to find them in pairs because originally they were often sold in pairs to adorn a mantle, and there would be a pair of them. These look to be in the style of French vases, but I don't believe they are French. They could be. I could be wrong. But they were absolutely gorgeous. I loved the florals on those. I did look at these. These were vintage, but I didn't find them very exciting, and they were $5.50 a piece. So I didn't end up buying those. But this was obviously glass, but what I liked about this was on the rim there was some metal, and the metal had little marks there that indicated that it was silver. And so I did end up buying this because it was silver. I mean, obviously the silver is not going to have a very high scrap value, but the fact that the vase had silver on it made me think that maybe this is something of value, because you don't just go willy-nilly putting silver on things. Down here, there were some more vases. These were the larger vases, but I still wanted to take a look at them. Obviously, there's some glass down here. This one on the back I liked, and there was this massive green vase. I think it was probably just a decorative Chinese vase. I didn't actually pull it out, but I'm going to go with my gut on that one. I thought maybe this was going to be glass, but the bottom was too clean on it after I figured out it was ceramic. So I did pass. There is another, that blue back there is the Bristol blue that I was talking about, but it was not glass. We've got some more vases here. These are green, but they have a silver overlay. So what that means is that tarnished color right there, that's actually silver. So I did grab this pair of vases as well. Very excited again to find a pair. And I love that deep green. This is also an antique vase, but because the painting on it is so worn, I did not grab that one. And that was just an applied decoration. That was probably more vintage than antique. And usually my threshold for antique is anything over 100 years old, and vintage is anything over 20 years old. I go off of the Etsy standard, basically, is what I'm saying. Down here, this plate I suspect was an oyster plate, so that's why I took a closer look at it, but I don't think that this particular design has any high value. And so I did leave that one behind, but some oyster plates can sell for good money. So I did investigate that. This I liked because it had a rhinoceros on it. It was 99 cents, and I'm not familiar with it. It's not something I've seen before, but sometimes I pick stuff up just because I find it interesting. And for 99 cents, I'll grab it. This rabbit I've actually shown before, and it's been here before, and the reason I'm showing you this is because it reminds me of a Pendleton rabbit, and they're popular during Easter. So these are likely hobbyist pieces, but they're made to look like Pendleton rabbits. So keep your eyes open. Down here, what do we have? I really liked that massive platter in the back. I didn't actually go for it because it looked like it would be heavy, but I was just admiring it. We've got mugs here on the shelf, lots of mugs. And they're all upside down, so you can see all of the maker's marks and everything that you would need to see to evaluate a mug. Got a Capiz shell wind chime there, and it did spark my interest, but I just didn't see much resale value on that. This I grabbed because it kind of looked like it might be M.A. Hadley, but I don't know. I passed on that. Yes, I see the George Briard dish. I do come back to that, by the way. This was pottery, and I did like it. I didn't recognize the markings on the bottom, and it was $6.50 a piece for those trays. And without knowing what their value was, I decided to pass on those. I'm not sure what the rhyme or reason on their pricing is, but some items are priced higher than others, obviously. There were some Asian dishes back here. They had Asian characters on the bottom, and they looked to be old from afar, but when I got closer, I wasn't sure of their age. That plate down there, I do suspect that was Portugal. I'm not really sure why I didn't take a closer look at it. This art glass pitcher was amazing, and I did really like it. It wasn't until I got to the checkout that I realized that there was a crack in the bottom. You can see it a little bit there. But I'm glad that I caught it, because that would have been a nightmare to realize, oh, there's a crack in it. What can we do with it? I don't know. Maybe we'll put some succulents in it. So that was disappointing to find the crack because it was a beautiful piece. I loved the contrast of the colors, but not much you can do with a picture that has a giant crack in it. I liked this dish on the bottom. It was kind of a console dish. It was pottery. Obviously, it would have been it would have been a burden to ship. I've got some fine porcelain. There was a teapot here, and it actually matched the set of porcelain. But I didn't see a high resale value there, even though I'm not the best with teapots, let's be honest. That picture on the bottom, I did end up picking that up, and it was Pioneer Woman. I had to see for myself. I suspected, and then I confirmed my suspicions that it was Pioneer Woman. This creamer was Czechoslovakia. It was just a barrel-shaped creamer, but it was $3.50, and I grabbed that because I love Czechoslovakian pottery. Now, this cookie jar was $4.50, and it took me a while to figure out what it said, but then, it says right on the bottom, it'll do. So the cookie jar says it'll do, and I did grab it for $4.50. I think it sells for like $15. I will put comps up. So it's not like a huge flip, but I liked it. Back here, this was a neat art glass piece. I liked the way the glass was applied to it. I'm not sure who makes it. I don't know who makes it, but I liked the care that went into making this piece. And so I thought that maybe this could be something. And I did grab that. I'm willing to make more possible mistakes when I'm at the Goodwill, because if I buy something and it turns out not to be the greatest, I only spent $3 on it. So you'll see me buy more things when I'm at the Goodwill. Now, this is a George Briard cooking piece. It's a Pyrex, but it does have the George Briard mark there on the top. They wanted $12.50 for it, which I thought was a little bit crazy, but it's mid-century. That's when it tried to fall through the cracks. And I did look up comps, and it sells for about $20, so it wasn't worth it for $12.50. There wasn't a whole lot in the bags today. I do look through the bags because on one occasion at this particular Goodwill, I found some really great bags, and they were full of Artesania Rinconata, which are figurines that I'm very fond of. But today there just wasn't a whole lot in the bags. I always look though, because you never know. You can see they're still getting rid of some of their Christmas stuff. Lots of ornaments. Not a whole lot of vintage ornaments though. I did go through the shelves at least one more time, and I spotted this vase here, and I suspect that this is made by Heisey. I think it is a fan style vase, but I'm not sure on that. There were a few other vases here. They were nice shapes. They could be something USA pottery, but I didn't see a high resale value there. They weren't interesting enough shapes. I'm checking for crystal. That's what I'm doing right now. Now back here, I've spotted something. Oh, dragonflies. I've spotted the dragonflies, but the bottom says Teleflora gift. So I did like the dragonflies, but the Teleflora stuff doesn't have the greatest resale value, and so I did pass on that. Now I'm back at the figurines because as I was walking by, I noticed this. It is a paperweight, but you can see there the remnants of a sticker that actually say made in China. So I did end up leaving this, even though it was pretty. I didn't think it was the best quality glass, even though it was pretty. Now I did go through the purses because I'm trying to get more familiar with purses and get better at recognizing the good brands and the knockoffs and what I should be looking for. I'm still struggling. I'm paying to learn, as a matter of fact. That one just jumped right off the hook. Michael Kors. Yeah, see, it's been a struggle. I think that the hardest part of learning purses is learning the ones that are knocked off the most, because learning the names is fine. It's learning the names and then learning the knockoffs on top of learning the names. Obviously, this Louis Vuitton is a knockoff, and I only know that because I carry a real Louis Vuitton, and so I'm able to say, well, no, I know this is a knockoff. It looks nothing like mine, but I don't know that with any of the others. I did end up picking up this purse, and this is an Emma Fox purse. I liked the fabric on the inside, and the front of the bag did feel like it wasn't fake vinyl. It was actually like, it felt like fur, so I grabbed this. All right, well, our total spend here at the Goodwill was $64. I'm really excited for all of those Victorian vases, I'm not going to lie, especially because we found them in pairs. They were usually sold originally in pairs, and it's not often that you find them in pairs because they're antiques. So that was really cool. I'm pretty pleased with that. But on that note, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to head on home. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see all of you tomorrow. Later.